Good day to you. GE on the porch. Today's message may not be for everyone, but I am confident that someone needs to hear it. I call it God's rescue plan for you. It comes from 1 Kings chapter 19, verses 4 through 18. I'm not going to read all of it, but it's a portion of the life and ministry of Elijah the prophet. Now, let me tell you the story very briefly. Elijah was fleeing from the evil Queen Jezebel, wife of Ahab, bad king. She had threatened his life, and he was fleeing from her presence. He fled and he hid in the wilderness, and he pleaded with God to die. God fed him twice, miraculously, by an angel. Then Elijah hid in a cave, and God came to him and essentially said, "What are you doing here? Elijah, what are you doing here?" And Elijah, and of course I'm paraphrasing, Elijah essentially said, "God, things are bad. Things are bad, and I want to die." Well, at that point, four things happened. You might remember the story. First of all, a wind came along, a huge, horrible wind that God says it broke rocks, but God wasn't in the wind. And then an earthquake came along, but God was not in the earthquake. And then fire came, but God was not in the fire. And then a still small voice, and that was God. Now, from this scripture, we learn four truths about God's rescue plan for you. The first truth is that God provides for you. God fed Elijah twice, miraculously by an angel. Elijah was asleep, but God came to him. He came quietly. He came unobtrusively. He came completely by an angel and supplied exactly what Elijah needed. God will do the same for you. Quietly, unobtrusively, and completely. He'll do the same for you. Supply for you what you need. Now, the second part of the rescue plan is that God communes with you. Notice what God did when he came and spoke to Elijah. First of all, what he did not do. He did not defend himself. The implication was that Elijah was saying somewhat, "Well, God, this is all your fault because I'm your servant." But God did not defend himself, nor did he condemn or berate Elijah. And what God did do was he caused Elijah to examine himself. And essentially he was saying, "Elijah, is it going to be my will or your will? You've got to make up your mind. You've got to examine yourself." And he expected Elijah to go on and serve him and not die there in the wilderness. You see, this communing with his people, part of God's rescue plan, is the start of a process that brings us to the knowledge that this is not the end of the world. God is still in charge. So, God provides for you. God communes with you. And then in verses 11 through 13, again, I'm not going to read, God teaches you. Now, here's what God teaches us. He taught Elijah. He said to Elijah, "You know what? I could blow your problems away. That great wind, I could just blow your problems away, but that would not serve my purpose." That's what God was saying. He said also, "I could swallow your problem with an earthquake, but then things would go undone. I could burn your problem up, but you would not grow if I did so." And then he says, "Or you could listen to me." And he said to Elijah in that still small voice, "I'm all you need. I still have great things for you to do, and I'm all you need. My friend, my brethren, whatever your problem, God's trying to tell you the same things. I could blow your problems away. I could swallow your problem up. I could burn your problems up. Or you could just simply listen to me, and I'm all you need. And then finally, in this matter of God's rescue plan for you, God challenges you as he did Elijah. To do what? That's in verses 15 through 18. You can read them. To do what? Well, to work. He wanted Elijah to go back and serve him. And whatever God calls you to do, you can do. You can do whatever God calls you to do. And so he calls you to work. He challenges you to work. He challenges you to help others. Let me tell you something. Your experience, even your misery, can be a help to others. And then he challenges us to be a witness of what God can do, using probably, our past experiences, even the rough ones. He calls us to be a witness of what God can do and to be a part of his great work. Listen, if you're still here on this earth, God still has something for you to do. You may be watching this short video today and you need a rescue plan. Maybe it's sickness. Maybe it's the death of a loved one. Maybe it's pain that you're experiencing, or financial difficulties, or some other problems, and you are wanting to die, or you're wanting to give up. My friend, God has a rescue plan for you. Trust him. He will provide. He will speak to you. He will teach you, and he will challenge you. God, through Christ, is the great rescuer. May he lead you, guide you, and bless you this day.